Done a fair bit of work since my last ride on this Royal Enfield 250 Olympic, including sorting out a couple of minor leaks, and I've done all sorts of work on the carburettor to hopefully get the best tick over I seem to be able to achieve. I've retarded the ignition timing, which was over advanced, and I've also got first gear selecting nicely. I've moved the gear lever out the way of hitting that little screw through the centre of the cover there, which seems to have sorted that out. And one or two other things. I've stopped the tank jangling. I've put some foam rubber between the tank and the frame. So let's go and see how things work out on a short ride. We'll have a look, let's go at Bantam Hill and see if our little doggy friend is about today.
Right, seem to have a small oil leak from the bottom of the cylinder barrel where it joins the crankcase. Also, I'm still having issues getting first gear, and in my attempts to get a tick over, I seem to have introduced a flat spot at about half throttle. So I thought I'd do the whole ride anyway. At least the fuel tank stopped jangling, and we are making progress. But I'm going to head back home with more work to be done. Oops. Yeah, first gear. It only just gets it. Right at the last moment. I thought I hadn't got it there. Let the clutch out and stalled it. Right, now I've got it. Not too bad from standstill, but on the move, getting sod to get. Like if I try and change down now, I've got neutral. Coming to a stop. Now I've got it. Reluctant to go into first gear when it's changing down from second. It'll go into first gear from a standstill. Just try that again here. Yeah. That's all I can do to get neutral. Now then, at a standstill, click within first. Right. At a lower speed, it's that what I got there. Gonna have to have a look at that. That was a different dog. That's not the one that chases us. great when you change down from third to the second, going downhill and you get a neutral. Right, and here we are, back to trying to get first. Went down into first there.
signs summing up and saying it's ready to go home now, but unfortunately that's not the case. You have to have a good look at that leak. I hope it is coming from the back of the cylinder barrel and not the centre crankcase joint. Very slight weak from the rocker cover there. I'm not worried about that. I'll get some well seal on that. I'll stop that, and an O-ring or something on there, stop that one. No big concern about those. Underneath, under there, generally pretty good under there, so that's good news. I've introduced a flat spot in the carburation about mid throttle range, so I put a 3.5 cutaway slide in instead of a number 3 that was in it, so I'll probably go back to the 3. That'll probably cost me the tick over, and I'm going to have to do something about the downward changes. I even had a bit of bother with 1 or 2 going down from 3rd to 2nd. Not quite sure what we've got there. I hope that that's oil that's dripped onto it actually from the rocker oil feed pipe, possibly. Anyway, rather than deeming it ready to go home, I'm going to have to get it back onto the bike lift again and go over a few more things. But some progress has been made, but there's quite a bit more to do with this. We're not out of the woods yet, unfortunately. Well, here we are, less than 10 minutes after that ride. We're back on the bike lift with this Royal Enfield Olympic, and I've just been having a closer look at this oil leak, and it's always best not to wipe an oil leak away straight away until you sort of have a look and see if you can track and trace where it's see where it's come from. Now, there's obviously been a reasonable amount of leakage there from the rear of that rocker cover, and I think what's happened is the rocker oil feed pipe also looks wet and oily down there, but I know I've got the bonded rubber sealing washers on, so I don't think it's leaking from the union into the head. I think that oil is running down from the rocker box joint, and some of it is getting onto the rocker oil feed pipe there and running down and making that wet. And then if we have a look around the other side, we can see the oiliness around the bottom of the barrel. There's actually a little bit there from the joint where that breather fits to the crankcase, so I can always try and tighten that or seal it up a little bit better, and that'll probably eliminate that. But mainly there's oil on this side of the rocker cover as well, and I think it's been working its way back and finding its way down, and some of it has run down that rocker oil feed pipe. You can actually possibly see the oiliness on that pipe. Unfortunately my torch sort of glares a little bit, but I can see it. There's actually oil on that pipe there where it's actually very, very close to the fins on the barrel, and that oil has obviously run down and worked its way back. So it's looking like it's not the cylinder base gasket after all, and something far easier to fix. So I'm going to sort out that rocker cover gasket leak first, and that will probably put an end to that, I think. I'm fairly confident. Like I say, I might have to do a little with that, and then this cover is going to have to come off. I'm going to have a look at what's going on regarding certainly changing down into first. I can get first gear easily enough moving away, but changing down from second, it's almost impossible to get it unless you come to a standstill, so that's no good. And I even missed a downward change or two from third to second, so yeah, we're going in there. But I think the cylinder head and the cylinder barrel can probably stay on, so that's the good news. But I will be going back to the carburettor settings and try to eliminate a flat spot I've got right in the mid throttle range, because it probably wouldn't have showed up on the ride video, but I could feel it, and I don't think it was there before that I noticed. So we'll go back from a 3.5 cutaway to a number 3 and see what happens. But like I say, won't hold my breath. Perhaps the tick over will disappear then, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So first off, I'm going to deal with the rocker cover leaks, and then try and make first gear select a little bit better coming down from second if I can.